For the next half hour, I'll be reading from Buffalo Rising and the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Construction Watch, Elmwood Bidwell. The storefronts at Douglas Development's mixed-use project at Elmwood Avenue and Bidwell Parkway are coming together nicely. The delayed project is on track to open later this year. 50 apartments are planned, primarily studio and one-bedroom units, along with 7,275 square feet of commercial space. The project design has evolved due to escalating costs. Modifications from original plans include smaller upper floor windows and less brick. Other modifications were the addition of a rooftop patio on the 5th floor along Potomac Avenue, roofline changes along Elmwood Avenue, and removal of the 2nd floor of a carriage house. Politics and other stuff. The last pre-primary campaign financials. The issues in the 61st Senate District. We're down to the wire for this year's primary elections on June 23rd. There's been a ton of action with TV ads, mailers, and literature drops to get the voters' attention. Here are the numbers for the key races, all on the Democratic side, for the period from May 12th through June 8th. For State Controller, Tom DiNapoli, who's the incumbent, raised over $144,000. He spent over $1 million, and he has cash on hand of $1.3 million. Rod Joyle raised $52,000. He spent $1.6 million, and he has a little over $500,000 cash on hand. Drew Warshaw raised almost $67,000. He spent about $500,000, and he has about $500,000 on hand. In the state Senate's 61st district, Jeremy Zellner, who's the incumbent, raised almost $90,000. He spent a little over $400,000, and he has about $89,000 in cash on hand. John Rivera raised $33,000. He spent $252,000, and he has about $85,000 cash on hand. These finances noted above are direct from the candidate's own activities and do not include spending on behalf of candidates by political action committees that are required to act independently of the candidate. Excuse me. Jeff Kelly with Investigative Post recently detailed the involvement of a PAC that is supporting Hoke. Kelly reports that Hoke won the support of online sport betting companies FanDuel and DraftKings, which fund a political action committee called New York Future. And as of June 9th, the PAC reported spending more than $275,000 promoting Hoke's candidacy. On TV and digital ads, polling and research, and direct mail, Hoke is running for the state assembly seat in the 149th district. Senate 61 on the issues. There's a great deal of video and printed material in circulation for the candidates in the primary for the 61st District Senate seat. I live in Amherst, which is the largest part of the district. I have received 12 mailers from Zellner, 10 positive on issues and biography, 2 half positive, half critical of Rivera. I've received 9 mailers from Rivera, 5 positive on issues and biography, 4 which were critical of Zellner. There's several issues where the candidates basically agree, and at least one issue that they disagree about. Here's a summary based on the candidates' websites and printed materials. Healthcare. Zellner, protecting our healthcare and fighting to make plans more affordable. Healthcare is a right, not a privilege. Rivera, fighting for healthcare and prescription drugs we can actually afford. Housing. Rivera, investing in affordable housing. Zellner, advocating for affordable housing. Affordability, Zellner, fight to lower your cost of living, hold utilities accountable, and lower your rates. Rivera, cracking down on price gouging by utilities and big corporations. ICE, Rivera, standing up to Trump and ICE so immigrant families can live without fear. Zellner, standing up to Trump, fighting back against ICE, supporting our communities no matter what. Carl Palladino, Rivera got the issue started by sending mailers, followed by TV ads, stating that Zellner had taken donations from Palladino to pay his salary at Democratic headquarters, suggesting that Zellner was under Palladino's control. Zellner countered by reporting that donations from Palladino's companies to the Erie County Democratic Committee ended 11 years ago. He followed up with a TV ad where he denounces all Palladino stands for. Early voting continues through Sunday, June 21st, and there's a link to the Erie County Board of Elections detailing the locations and hours for the voting, which will extend through June 21st. Early voting 26 kids at 522.pdf. In other counties, you can get this information through the County Board of Elections. IKEA is coming to town with a planned 2027 grand opening. After years of crossing the Canadian border to pick up furniture and home accessories at IKEA in Burlington, Ontario, Buffalonians will soon have their very own full-fledged shopping experience. Pyramid Management Group has announced that an IKEA shopping center will soon open at the Walden Galleria. That means no more lugging stuff across the border, which will be very welcome news for fans of the iconic Swedish retailer. According to Pyramid, the retail destination will be opening a 67,000 square feet lower-level shopping location at the north end of the mall, in what was once the Sears and Sears Auto Space. IKEA is bringing the full IKEA experience to Buffalo, including their signature showroom, their marketplace, and Swedish bistro. The shopping center is anticipated to open in early 2027. We're very excited to share that IKEA will soon be joining Walden Galleria in Buffalo, New York, the second location in the Pyramid portfolio. Bringing one of the world's most recognized and beloved brands to Western New York is another huge moment in our company's history, and we're incredibly proud to make it a reality, said Stephen J. Conjo, Chief Executive Officer of Pyramid Management Group. We'd like to thank the dedicated teams at both Pyramid and IKEA, whose collaboration and commitment made this possible. This addition is game-changing for the shopping center and further solidifies Walden Galleria's place as a leading destination for shopping, dining, and entertainment in Western New York. I wanted to congratulate Pyramid Management Group on this exciting announcement that bolsters Walden Galleria's position as one of the premier shopping and retail destinations in the Northeast, said Assemblyman Patrick Hudzinski. Attracting an iconic brand like IKEA will draw visitors from across Western New York, Northeastern Pennsylvania, and Canada, benefiting local businesses. This news represents a commitment to excellence and growth on the part of Pyramid and reinforces why we are so grateful for their continued stewardship of Walden Galleria. Senator April Baskin said IKEA opening its first Western New York location at the Walden Galleria is exciting news for our region and a strong investment in our local economy. When IKEA opens its doors in early 2027, it will create new job opportunities for residents, attract shoppers from across Western New York and beyond, and further strengthen one of our region's most important shopping centers. I welcome this investment in Cheektowaga and look forward to the opportunities that it will create for workers, neighboring businesses, and residents across the region. Cheektowaga Town Supervisor Brian Nowak said, "I'm really excited to welcome IKEA to Walden Galleria. This investment from the IKEA team is a powerful testament to Western New York's resurgence and momentum. A huge congratulations to everyone who helped bring this opportunity in Cheektowaga to fruition. I look forward to many more exciting announcements from Walden Galleria in the future. This is a very important development, not just for Walden Galleria, but for the entire region. Shoppers from across western and upstate New York to southern Ontario, Canada, Pennsylvania, and beyond will soon have access to one of the most in-demand retail brands in the world. Walden Galleria is the perfect choice for its second upstate New York location due to the shopping center's exceptional accessibility, high traffic, and powerful regional draw. Perfectly positioned along Interstate 90, the New York State Thruway, and located in the center of the western New York region, Walden Galleria offers unmatched convenience for both local Northtowns and Southtowns shoppers and travelers coming from the Midwest to the Northeast. Opening early next year, IKEA will completely transform the 67,000 square feet lower level of the former Sears and Sears Auto Space at the shopping center's north end. Guests can expect the full IKEA experience, including their signature showroom, marketplace, and of course the beloved Swedish bistro, all under one roof. Get ready for something truly special. How to take a walk in Buffalo and beyond. The funkiest streets of Buffalo and beyond, Part 3. We continue the series on walking Buffalo from the intrepid couple who began walking every day, no matter the weather, in the early years of COVID. They think, without being systematic, that they walked every street in Buffalo and many in other cities and towns, taking over 30,000 photos shared in this series. While not usually itineraries, we hope to encourage others to walk the walk, to see, observe, and appreciate Buffalo and beyond. Today's photo essay, The Funkiest Streets of Buffalo and Beyond. As noted in parts 1 and 2, not everyone uses the word funky the way we're using it here. According to Webster's, it can mean foul, F-O-U-L, as in having an offensive odor, or describe a certain black musical style, as in funk. Informally, the way we're using the word here, it means odd or quaint in appearance or feeling, unconventionally stylish or hip, maybe weird. We have a certain affection for Thomas Street because it's where we park our visits to the Central Terminal outbuildings, a favorite excursion of ours. We leave the car in the first block south of William, having made a sharp right turn just under the bridge. Most of that first block is occupied on the west by the buildings that remain of the Normal paintball facility that occupied more than 3 acres. The ruins suggest a business long gone, but AI says that the facility opened in 2018 with an NXL turf speedball field and an urban assault course. Since 2020, when the photos were taken, the site has been covered with some pretty good graffiti. The front of the complex was just around the corner on Howard Street. A long block south, as Thomas turns into Metcalf, was the El Srai Deli, which is now a vacant lot after a fire burned it to the ground. The area, though, is worth a walk, and you could do worse than to head east and west on Howard Street. At the intersection of Howard and Thomas is the Twilight Grill, with its lovely owl wall painting outside. Inside, the folks are friendly, and the beer, bottles only, is reasonable. No food, a classic Buffalo corner bar, a vanishing species. Weatherbest Slip Road, it is known on Google Maps, snakes in and around the homes, docks, and businesses that mark the North Tonawanda terminus of the Erie Canal. If one approaches from the north along an asphalt path that opens up at the intersection of Goundry Street and Route 265, which is Military Road, a marina appears ahead. Go right and into the community or communities. Straight ahead, boathouses, the waters of the Niagara River iced up in February. Curve right around the mysterious rock towers and then left onto a portion of Weatherbest Slip Road. Summer homes and maybe some winter ones tight together. As the river end of the road, a non-functioning turning bridge, one of 2 in close proximity, is visible to the south. You're listening to reading of articles and features from Buffalo Rising and the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Returning to the Rock Towers, ahead and to the right, you'll see another group of summer homes, slightly more upscale. Until recently, it was known as Boathouse Park. A new sign, placed symbolically atop a section of picket fence, renames the development Elbow Association, adding private property. What a shame. Exiting on the path north, continue for a few hundred yards to Betty's Grill, the bar/restaurant in the Red House across the street to the east. Another friendly neighborhood place, as well as a shrine to 1930s icon Betty Boop. Dote Street is a significant east-west thoroughfare on Buffalo's east side. From about 6 blocks east of Pine Ridge Road, it runs straight west through Schiller Park, crossing Bailey Avenue, which is Route 62, before ending at Genesee Street, with which it forms a point. Dote has 3 mini-marts. 2 of them, from our post-2019 walking experience, are fixtures. Dote Express, 1 block west of Bailey Avenue, and Island Express Mart at the point of Dote and Genesee, with its island motif near rear mural, a local treasure. The third mini-mart, Dote Market and Deli at Dote and Stewart Avenue, is new. Fortunately, the owners chose the traditional hand-painted look for the facade, complete with full line of groceries and 2 no loitering signs, likely accomplished by a local artist, perhaps Tony or New York. If that full line of groceries proves sufficient, there's barbecue to be had at Ike and BG's takeout restaurant across from Island Express on Genesee. There's several additional attractions on the 1.67-mile length of Dote Street, 1.32 in the city of Buffalo. You go east to west, still on Dote, we've been unable to pinpoint its location, we notice the home decorated with banners. The words EID/Mubarak announced that the residents were celebrating one of 2 Muslim holidays, probably given the early July date when we went by. You want to spend a moment at the Buffalo Academy of Science Charter School, south side of Dote, across from Theodore Street. The Gothic Revival Stone Building, completed in 1929 as a monastery for the Dominican nuns of the Perpetual Rosary, whose numbers had expanded beyond the original 8 cloistered nuns who had arrived in Buffalo from New Jersey in 1905. When numbers declined, the 16 remaining nuns left for Ohio in 2020, and the building was sold. Not far ahead, on the north side, is a long mural celebrating Dote Street and the neighborhood. Across the street, note that there's a bicycle/art object attached to a light pole. At the corner of Dote and Sumner Place, don't miss the 4 blue and white houses. Heading into the intersection with Genesee, Dote becomes less one-family residential and business light industry. A brick building at 97 Dote houses the offices of the New Generation Missionary Center. The site of worship is on Hurdle Avenue. When we went by in 2021, Jesus Saves graffiti graced the east side of the structure. The adjacent playground has been refurbished and dedicated to Bill Russell, a.k.a. Ice, and to Conway the Machine. The Bill Russell in the photograph is likely the Riverside High School basketball coach nicknamed Ice because he was known for remaining calm under stressful game situations. The other figure, to whom the playground is dedicated, is Demon Price, the rapper from Buffalo, whose gritty style has represented the East Side resilience since his breakout mixtape in 2015. Hope we got that right. A portion of Dote has a number of small businesses of the sort that together sustain the city. Under the railroad bridge, up the hill, and on the left at number 19 is a building that stands at once for the East Side's past and present. Constructed in 1912 and 1913 for the Monarch Knitting Company, with a 1919 addition in the same style, it served for decades as a factory and warehouse for Monarch and other enterprises. Now, as the Mill at Crossroads, it houses 78 affordable rental apartments, and the building's website features a young Muslim couple. The immediate area has a hard-to-find treasure that will cap the Dote Street adventure. To find it, follow the Mill at Crossroads building south along Rustic Place. At Lansdale Place, turn left and continue straight on, even as the street seems to end. Ahead, you should be able to make out a rusted iron arch, inscribed with the words Beth Jacob Cemetery. Beth Jacob means house of Jacob, referring to the biblical patriarch Jacob. Founded in 1882, the cemetery is part of the history of Buffalo's Orthodox Jewish community and is often referred to as the Dote Street Cemetery. More construction watch. Heritage Point. New York at Heritage Point and Canalside is underway with third-floor framing being installed on the eastern building. Preliminary work restarted several weeks ago after an April 1st deadline set by the state and Sabres and Bills owner Terry Pegula agreeing to financially contribute to the project to see it to completion. Work is expected to wrap up next spring. The project has stalled due to construction loan and contractor issues, higher interest rates, and increasing material costs. The project includes 2 buildings with restaurant, retail, office space, and 61 apartments, separated by an open space area following a portion of the route of the former Prime Slip. Each building will be 6 stories that include a mansard roof level and basement level. The project was designed by Camina Wood Design. Shipwrecks, Dust Bowls, and Free Shakespeare. The 51st season kicks off with an epic adventure. Shakespeare in Delaware Park returns this summer for its 51st season of pre-professional theater on Shakespeare Hill, which includes Pericles, Prince of Tyre, The Taming of the Shrew, and the touring show Fools and Foes. This season, the company welcomes 3 new directors to the Shakespeare family: Dr. Scott McKenna Campbell for Pericles, Brendan Didio for The Taming of the Shrew, and Nathaniel Higgins for Fools and Foes. These directors will certainly bring fresh perspectives and wonderful creativity to their production, said Executive Director Lisa Ludwig, adding that all 3 of these free productions help us continue our mission of making Shakespeare accessible to audiences of all ages. She is especially excited that this season what the company is offering. Something new and something familiar. We're especially excited to open the season with Pericles, Prince of Tyre, which marks the first time Shakespeare in Delaware Park has ever produced this play in our 51-year history, she said. I like to think of it as a sweeping adventure filled with shipwrecks, romance, loss, humor, as well as hope and reunion. Dr. Scott McKenna Campbell has spent more time with Shakespeare Pericles than with nearly any other Shakespeare play, acting in productions, writing music and lyrics for a 2018 staging, and bringing the work into both university classrooms and youth theater camps. Now directing his 4th production of the play, McKenna is especially drawn to its strange, stormy, and deeply human world, qualities that he feels are increasingly resonant today. He's also excited by the opportunity to introduce audiences to one of Shakespeare's lesser-known works, while collaborating with live, on-stage musicians, a hallmark of his directing aesthetic. By setting this production during the 1930s American Dust Bowl, Dr. McKenna Campbell believes that Pericles will resonate deeply with 2026 audiences because the piece will highlight the forced travel, the natural disaster, human corruption, and general desperation that characters endure. Working with Tom Maker, he has also woven original Okie-inspired folk songs, inspired by the Shakespearean text, into the production, shaping Pericles into the story of strangers finding comfort, connection, and hope while journeying through hardship together. I hope that Buffalo audiences experience a feeling of hope and community within the play, he said. Pericles is a story about characters striving to do the right thing within impossible circumstances. beset by cruel tyrants, unrelenting storms, and a seemingly careless universe, Pericles and his daughter Marina each seek a calm landing after a stormy journey. Our production focuses on the ways that communal support and shared efforts can improve in ways that individual striving cannot achieve, he said. For those who have never attended a play on the Hill, Ludwig shared the following. Seeing a show on Shakespeare Hill is like any other theater experience in Buffalo. We always say that it's a community picnic where there happens to be a free professional performance happening before you. Audience members come to Delaware Park with blankets, lawn chairs, picnic baskets, friends, and family to enjoy the words of the bard under the stars. It's truly a community event. You can even rent the special events platform if you have a group or order reserved seats on the hill, which will be waiting for you with your name on it when you arrive. For first-time attendees, Ludwig suggests bringing the following: a blanket or lawn chair, or rent a chair, bug spray, a light jacket or sweatshirt for cooler evenings, snacks or a picnic dinner, and maybe even a small flashlight for afterward. Most importantly, however, Ludwig feels that the work of Shakespeare in the Park should be immediately accessible to all audience members, saying people should know that they do not need theater experience or to be a Shakespeare expert to enjoy the shows. Whether you are a lifelong Shakespeare fan or seeing your very first play, Shakespeare is meant to be seen and heard, and the Hill is a place for everyone. She reiterates that all performances are free. However, we do take free will donations at intermission, cash, credit, check, or Venmo. It's our amazing audience and supporters who have kept Shakespeare on the Hill going for 51 years. Dr. Campbell hopes that the audience who see Pericles will be struck by the ways that the people around us can bring us from the deepest tragedies into the greatest joys. Audience can also support the company through a wide range of merchandise available on Shakespeare Hill, including t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, candles, stickers, jewelry, dog bandanas, and this season's Taming of the Shrew mascot. It's the perfect way for audiences who want to support it and take home a little piece of Shakespeare Hill and show it off to everyone. Pericles, Prince of Tyre, runs June 18th through July 12th, 2026 in Delaware Park. You've been listening to a reading of articles and features from Buffalo Rising. We read from Buffalo Rising on Fridays at 8:30 a.m. Your reader has been Jeff Shapiro. Thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service with broadcast studios at 1199 Harlem Road in Cheektowaga. Radio readings are broadcast 24 hours a day, every day, to area people who are blind or have a print disability. This year, our agency marks almost 40 years on the air with more than 300,000 hours of radio readings to those without sight. Our broadcast signal is provided at no charge by WNED. The Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service website is nfradioreading.org. For more information, call 716-821-5555. changes in programming, but just as a heads up. Stay with us though now. We're reading about